In Japan, there is a mountain that never stops watching. Silent, ancient, almost unreal. Mount Fuji. For centuries, this iconic peak has captured the imagination of artists and travelers alike. But the most famous view in Japan feels less like reality, and more like a beautiful, fleeting memory. A red pagoda rises above the city, a sentinel of peace. Delicate cherry blossoms drift slowly through the wind, and behind everything, Mount Fuji watches in stoic silence. The composition is perfect. The air is still. The scene is almost painted into the sky. At sunrise, the mountain glows softly behind the temple, and for a few precious moments, Japan feels completely unreal. But the mountain was only beginning to reveal itself. At the edge of the mountain sits Lake Kawaguchi. When the water becomes still, Fuji reflects perfectly across the surface like a mirror. Morning fog rolls slowly over the lake, boats drift silently through the mist. Bird sounds echo in the distance. The mountain feels enormous here. Not aggressive, not loud, just present, as if it has been waiting here forever. And then Fuji appears somewhere unexpected. In Fujiyoshida, Mount Fuji suddenly appears at the end of ordinary streets. Power lines, traffic lights, tiny shops, vending machines, and beyond all of it, a sacred mountain towers over daily life. The contrast feels impossible. One of the most famous mountains on Earth, watching quietly over convenience stores and rainy sidewalks. Then the world slows down again. Oshino Hakkai feels frozen in another time. Traditional wooden houses sit beside crystal-clear ponds, fed directly by Mount Fuji. The water is so clear, it barely looks real. Koi fish move silently beneath the surface. Wind moves softly through the trees, and suddenly, modern Japan feels very far away. But beneath Fuji's beauty, beneath the shadow of the mountain, something older waits in silence. At the base of Mount Fuji grows a forest unlike anywhere else in Japan. Aokigahara. The dense trees block out both wind and sound. Everything becomes unnaturally quiet, muffled by the sea of trees. Fog drifts slowly between twisted roots and porous volcanic stone. Sunlight barely reaches the ground here. The forest feels ancient, still, almost alive. And walking here, you begin to understand how powerful and how heavy silence can truly feel. And then the mountain changes again. As you journey from Mount Fuji, the serene landscape dramatically transforms. You've arrived in a different world. The air grows heavy, thick with the unmistakable smell of sulfur. All around you, steam rises from deep volcanic cracks in the earth, hissing and breathing. The ground feels alive beneath your feet, a constant, subtle vibration. This is Owakudani, the Great Boiling Valley. It was formed 3,000 years ago by one of Japan's most powerful eruptions. Even today, smoke pours endlessly from the mountain's scarred slopes. Ropeway cabins float like ghosts through dense clouds of steam. The silence feels heavier here, muffled by the fog. And then there are the famous kurotamago, the black eggs. They are cooked naturally inside the volcanic hot springs, where their shells turn completely black from a chemical reaction with the sulfur and iron in the water. Local legend says eating one adds 7 years to your life, a tempting promise in such a powerful place. Standing here, surrounded by volcanic smoke and drifting fog, it almost feels believable. But Fuji still had quieter stories to tell. Beside the mountain sits a village that feels disconnected from time. Thatched roof houses rest quietly beneath Mount Fuji. Smoke rises softly from old chimneys. Lanterns glow against cold evening air. Nothing moves quickly here. And beneath the mountain's shadow, Japan feels older, softer, more human. In the forest below Fuji, water falls like silk across volcanic stone. Shiraito Falls feels impossibly delicate. Hundreds of thin waterfalls flowing together in silence. Mist fills the air, the sound echoes through the forest. And for a moment, the mountain disappears completely behind water and fog. As the sun disappears, Mount Fuji slowly becomes a silhouette against the sky. Clouds turn gold, the air becomes colder, and the mountain glows one final time before darkness. The entire landscape feels silent, like the world itself has paused to watch. At night, Mount Fuji almost disappears. Only its outline remains beneath the stars. The cities become distant, the lights fade, the silence grows deeper, and standing beneath the night sky, the mountain no longer feels like part of the earth. It feels eternal. Tokyo moves fast. Osaka feels alive. But Mount Fuji simply waits. Silent, ancient, watching over Japan like it always has.